yeah. So here's a disclaimer, y'all. Y'all know how this works. We do this every week. All right. Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good folks at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother Ian Dunlap, the master investor. Do your own research. Do your homework. A lot of y'all doing your homework.
Drop them cash apps. I'm gonna start with Stock Club first, but in the season of giving, I want to get back to some of our old traditions and bless the people. Y'all been rocking with us and dealing with my little pineapple juice rants and all that.
Not yet, y'all. Not yet. Slow this. Stop.
So we're not gonna do it for the cash apps. We'll stop.
We didn't start yet.
Let's get into this. So the return of VOO, VTI, Apple, Microsoft, and AMD.
Back like they never left.
I thought long-term investing was boring. All year, everybody's been like, I don't want to do it that way. I'm tired of y'all coming on here and talking about these same four. VOO, 28.97% return this year. VTI, 27.94% return. Apple, 39.52%, and they haven't even dropped their glasses, which they will next year for AR. We got to get Keys on here and talk about that and that HoloLens next year. AMD, 50.11% long-term investing, no options, no trading, just holding. NVIDIA, 130.47%. If we have made you money, please put yes in chat and say it with me. Long-term investing is the wave. When you have a low interest rate environment and these companies are high margin, and these are some of the best companies in the world, you're going to get a higher return. And people are always like, hey, I don't have time to hold for long term. I want to flip. Holding long term is a flip. I don't care how you twist it. I know everyone doesn't want to hold for 3 months. I don't care. This is the way to go. Apple, Microsoft, AMD, NVIDIA, VOO, VTI. There's nothing else to say.
The market pays those who are patient.
There you have it. I want to get back to Apple because it did hit an all-time high last week. But before we go, let's talk about
today.
Today.
Today. It got up. We were watching the ticker.
It retreated.
But it had to get so on top of hitting an all-time high. If it got to 182, I think 16, it would have been the first company in history to have a $3 trillion. I want to say this slowly. $3 trillion market cap. Trillion. Like last year during the pandemic, it was like, wow, this thing got to 1.5 trillion. It got to 12 months later, we're talking about $1 trillion in a year. Why wouldn't you invest? Like, I'm confused.
Hit the point spread.
With trillion, with a T.
One of the greatest companies in the history of mankind. And they have not still launched their crypto project or announced these glasses. Or
their I was gonna say, don't forget about the EV project, like
nor the health
nor the healthcare. Like we don't have to
have more bombs to go.
This is Game of Thrones.
More bombs upon your head top.
They got more dragons.
Man.
Yes,
they got way more dragons.
Speaking of dragons, Peloton. Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about what happened.
Mike, close your ears. Shout out to Mike. So Peloton obviously was a great stock during the pandemic, right? Everybody was at home. We spoke about this.
You have a Peloton bike, right?
I do have a Peloton. Everybody was home. Gyms were closed. People could work out from their homes. Great. As soon as there was a vaccine, gyms started to open. We saw Peloton stock drop. We spoke about how they don't have a competitive advantage, right? If a company like Apple's decides to go into the healthcare space or the fitness space with an actual product, what advantage does Peloton have? Stock's been falling back. It dropped under $40. Then Thursday happened. So if you're not paying attention to HBO Max, they put out
great commercial.
Sex and the City. So the new Sex and the City. I think they changed the title, but it's really just Sex and the City, the new one without Samantha. I don't want to. I'm going to give a spoiler alert. If you didn't watch it already, here's what happens. So Big, who's the main character, who is Carrie's husband, is working out on the Peloton, and he passes out, has a heart attack, dies. That was Thursday. Friday morning, when the stock market opened, Peloton stock dropped even further, right? They were looking at it like, I know we were like, yo, don't pay attention to the news. But if you're looking at this, right, you're watching this show, this guy dies from having a heart attack being on a machine, it's bad press, right? It sucks for the press. Now, Peloton's statement was like, yo, we knew that the bike was going to be in the episode. We had no idea what the purpose was. And HBO statement was, look, we couldn't tell you because this was such a bit. Yeah, it's a huge spoiler. Shout out to everybody that was watching it.
You should have watched it. Sorry.
You should have watched it. You should. I watched it last night.
When you left her at the wedding the first time. It's okay.
My fault for spoiling it for y'all. Go watch Power.
Shout out to
Power. Shout out to 50. So the bike is obviously, they didn't know what it was going to be used for. HBO couldn't tell them, obviously, because it was such a big moment in the show. And so today they came out with an ad. Did you see the ad?
Yeah, ad's incredible. So
they were like, yo, he's still alive. The stock actually went up. It's pretty crazy. The stock, it actually moved from $38.
It went up 7%.
It went up 7% today. Yeah, it closed at 7% up, which was like interesting. But again, Peloton, they have to find a competitive advantage in their space. Yes, when it was a pandemic and no one can go anywhere, great. We were at home, we were working out. They have to figure out what they're going to do from a competitive standpoint to stay afloat or to be creative. Now, shout out to Mike. He has a great idea, and I won't share it yet because I think it's a great idea. We just have to figure out how we implement it to help them. So if you're from Peloton, give us a call. We got some ideas.
Peloton, we might be able. We might be able to raise their value.
We might be able to save you.
We might be able to save you.
Keyword might.
If a fictional character drops the value of your stock, it tells you that your business is weak. Great product, but I mean, if Tommy from Power says Red Panda's no good, the value of the company not going nowhere. I am the Jimenez family. So stop. Crazy. Like, I can slap an iPad on the Nordic track and get the same feel. And don't let me break out my Oculus and go crazy in the metaverse. Listen, man, you have to find a competitive advantage. You need a high margin business. And just because a company has a tech component does not make it a tech company. It is a hardware business with low margins. No good. No bueno. Peloton is terrible. But if you call us,
yeah, I'm giving Mike his credit. It was a good idea. When he told it to me, I was super tired. I looked at him like he was crazy, but I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He might be onto something. So Peloton, if you're watching, give us a call.
Please.